You are not interested anymore in proving anything to yourself or to anyone. You don't feel the need to justify your position, your peace, your choices, because the need for validation is not important. When you're not in doubt, validation becomes unnecessary. This can feel a bit strange and lonely because you're no longer repeating a shared responsibility or need for a group or require a response from groups of people. There's separation and difference. It takes time to feel familiar. Nothing is being held from you. The universe is waiting long enough to respond without confusion. Stability leads to alignment, and you learn by resting. If there is a quiet sense of relief underneath everything subtle, almost invisible, that is not an accident. Relief arises when there's less effort and nothing collapses as a result. It's the body noticing that it can be calm without consequence. You are no longer moving forward. You are aligning, and alignment feels like nothing needing to be corrected. When nothing feels urgent, the mind often searches for what it might be missing. It scans for danger, for neglected responsibilities, for signs that something important has slipped through unnoticed. This scanning is habitual. It is designed to keep you safe in environments that required constant adjustment. Habits don't dissolve immediately, they fade gradually. There's a faint restlessness without a clear target, a sense that you should be doing something even though nothing presents itself. Energy that once flowed into problem solving now has nowhere to go. It's the nervous system leaving a new guideline. The absence of clear next steps can feel uncomfortable if identity has been tied to motion. When movement slows, questions about purpose may surface as low-level inactivity. These questions are simply signals that an old orientation is dissolving. Purpose in this phase is not something to be defined. It's something being developed beneath conscious choice. You might also notice a change in how external information lands. News, conversations, even ideas that once triggered strong reaction now passes through with less impact. This means your system is filtering more efficiently. Boundaries formed through effort feel rigid. Boundaries formed through coherence feel natural. They simply exist. You will recognize what resonates and what doesn't without debate. There's a subtle confidence that accompanies this, though it may not feel like it. It's quieter, more like an internal agreement that you don't need to rush your own process, and reduces internal conflict. Energy then becomes available for finer perception. You may find yourself noticing small details more easily, the quality of light in a room, the cadence of your own breath. Interactions feel simpler, less changed. The idea of waiting implies a future event that will resolve the present. Whatever happens will not be required to justify this moment. You are not being tested because tests create pressure. Now is stabilization and alignment through stillness. You're exactly where detection is most accurate. The beginning is already beneath you, supporting your weight without effort. That's why everything feels quicker, quieter, because nothing is resisting you anymore. At a certain point, the mind stops asking when and start noticing how to make something happen. It doesn't feel like insight. It feels like learning, correcting itself. Questions still exist, but there's no urgency and no demand for immediate resolution. Not every unknown is a threat. Threat perception is a function of misalignment. The sense of waiting was faded into something else, but easier to inhabit. Presence without expectation. There's a quieter, more quiet development happening around desire simplifying towards experiences that don't require internal debate. Certain options no longer attract you. It's increased signal clarity. When you become more coherent, some parts don't resonate anymore. There's no drama, they just stop calling. It can feel disorienting if you're used to evaluating possibilities intellectually. Now evaluation occurs bodily below thought. The body registers alignment before the mind forms a story. You may find yourself saying no without justification or pausing without knowing why. These are accurate responses. Accuracy is not loud, it's almost boring, but it's engagement without resistance. Movement is natural. Past experiences don't intrude as often, and when they do, they carry less emotional charge. This is integration. Events no longer need to be revisited to extract meaning. The meaning has already been absorbed. The past feels complete enough not to pull on the present. The future feels open and at ease. The present feels like a location. Waiting implies a lack of alignment. You're in quiet synchronization. The system responds to coherence. If you're on the edge of something, it feels smooth. Without resistance, developments feel like continuity. You're inhabiting a moment that has already adjusted around you. Thoughts still arise, but they don't narrate your every move. It feels ordinary. Your body responds more quickly than your mind. Small adjustments in posture, breath, or pace happens without conscious decision. This is alignment expressing itself physically. Now what happens around you no longer feels separate from what is happening within you in a practical sense. Responses arise without delay. You are no longer defending a boundary or maintaining a narrative. Perception is now cleaner. You see what is actually occurring. No longer rushes ahead of experience. It arrives quietly, if at all. Surprises don't shock the system anymore. They register, adjust, and integrate. No pressure in moments. They unfold as they are, complete in themselves. You don't feel pulled back. You feel positioned without effort. Action feels like a continuation, and even rest feels active in a quiet way. You no longer ask yourself if you're aligned or on track when the answers are consistent.